Mount Rushmore National Memorial, America's beloved shrine of democracy, is one of our country's most inspiring sights. It's a personification in stone of basic American ideals. The story of its creation affords a superb example of artistic drive on a colossal scale.
Dynamite charges roughly blast out the lower figures. Most of the carving is accomplished by cunningly placed explosives. And here's the mountainside as it is today, with the huge head of Washington nearly finished and that of Jefferson beginning to take shape.
The idea of creating a gigantic carving here was first proposed in 1923 by Dome Robinson, South Dakota state historian. He invited Gutzon Borglum, a prominent American sculptor, to the Black Hills. Borglum's previous work indicated that he could plan and execute sculpture on a heroic scale. The area was searched for a suitable location. And at last, the sculptor found the place he was looking for. The site was Mount Rushmore. Its granite was smooth-grained and would take carving well. Its massive cliffs faced the sun most of the day and dominated the surrounding landscape. On October 1st, 1925, with a crowd of 3,000 onlookers gathered at the base of the mountain, the sculptor planted a dedicatory American flag on its summit. The four presidents on Mount Rushmore symbolize fundamental aspects of the American spirit. George Washington represents the struggle for independence, the creation of the Constitution, and the birth of the Republic. Thomas Jefferson, principal author of the Declaration of Independence, symbolizes government by the people. Abraham Lincoln led America through the Civil War and was chief architect of the reunited nation. He represents the permanent union of the states. Theodore Roosevelt, a city boy from Manhattan that grew up to love the West, symbolizes the bonds that link our country together. Roosevelt, a vigorous personality and a dynamic speaker, represents the rise of the United States to prominence in world affairs.
There's a lot of pain that's tied into the DNA of Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore is a monument that preserves the legacy of some of America's greatest presidents who had a significant impact on American history, which is all to be celebrated. But at the same time, Mount Rushmore is in the badlands, the homelands of indigenous people. So from the perspective of someone who is Lakota, Dakota Sioux, or what have you, it shouldn't be there. Or the fact that it's there symbolizes a history of subjugation. It's a problem. But you know what? American history is filled with problems. And history itself is the record of problems, of conflict. And Mount Rushmore, you can't talk about Mount Rushmore without talking about conflict, without talking about people being in a place and other people coming in, conflict. Wanting to have the land, conflict. The American West is a history of conflict. One group could be moved to tears because they're saying, this was our homeland. This is the land of our ancestors. Our blood is part of the soil here. And another group is thinking, oh boy, I just love what Teddy Roosevelt did. He was a great president. And they're all right in their own particular perspective on that story. They're all completely right. It's a great place to start a conversation.